We are back for a new episode of Smarknado. I'm your host, Eric Druckman. With me, as always, the dirty Danaconda, Dan Sesnit. Dan, how you doing, man?
I missed everybody so very much. I feel like we haven't been here in forever because we haven't. But
Mhm.
in that time, I got to see you not once but twice in New York on during John's wedding and an impromptu trip. So that was super fun. Got to watch a ton of wrestling in the time being. But yeah, man. I'm not going to talk too much about myself because we have somebody special here. So go ahead and take it out of the way, Eric.
Absolutely. And before just shimmying this in, just because it was a special day for our friend, congratulations to John on getting married. That's why
Oh yeah.
Dan was in town for that. But as you all know, we are gearing up for a huge show. Smarknado is the marquee sponsors for Wrestlers Lab. Oh my glob, May 26th from the Ridgefield Park Mecca, Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. And we are very happy to be joined today by a man who not only will be facing Big Game Leroy on the show, but also will be making yeah, big dork. Fans bring the weapons, by the way. But he's also been making a name for himself as one of the heaviest hitters and handsomest faces on the independent scene today. Please welcome handsome Max Zero. Max, what's going on?
Nothing much. Nothing much. How are y'all doing?
We're doing great. We're happy that you're on here today. We know that you have a lot of strong feelings about your opponent, Big Game Leroy. But of course, before we get to that, listeners at home want to get to know Max Zero if you're not familiar with Max Zero. So how would you describe handsome Max Zero as a character?
I'm big, I am dumb, and I can absolutely kick your ass. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Yes.
I already
Yes,
did
you
it,
are.
so I guess it's a little late for that. But yeah,
Chris
I
Moore, in fact.
am the prettiest person to ever walk the King's Road.
Mhm.
A good way of putting it.
I love that because that's obviously a nod to All Japan Pro Wrestling, the style of a lot of throws and strikes, which is something that you are very proficient in.
Yes.
So just taking everybody back, I think it's fair to say that the birth of Handsome Max Zero started once you became unmasked, and the internet had a very uproarious reaction. So take us back to that time. How did that influence your character, and how did that, set you on the wave to where you are right now?
It influenced the character in the sense that, like, I didn't expect the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of went into taking off the mask. It's like, all right, I'll do something else. Like, I taken off the mask. The world is my oyster. And then the world kind of went, no, you're handsome. So guess what you're doing.
So what was? Did you have like a plan in your mind of what your character was going to be for your unmasking? And obviously, this set it in a different direction, right?
This absolutely, it set it in entire. Like, I kind of was just going to keep doing the Zero stuff, and then it's just kind of like, well, now I have to figure out what I want to do. Now that everyone's like, no, we picked we picked what you are for you.
Yeah.
Like, I've been just kind of like, okay, I guess this is what I'm doing.
Isn't it hard being told how handsome you are all of the time?
It is. It's very hard. Like, I can't think of a single thing on the internet that's harder than being told that you're the handsomest person to ever do pro wrestling. I bet no one here could even name a person who's handsomer than me. Like, definitely not.
I got nothing.
At one time, dashing Cody Rhodes, but like he's
then he broke his face and he had to wear that awful Phantom of the Opera mask. Which
he can't sit at the table anymore.
You want to know what's going to get me interested in that Cody Rhodes story? It's bringing back that Phantom of the Opera mask.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get a nod to that later on.
They've Stardust.
There's rumors that there's no real direction for him on the championship level. So to me, why not champion Stardust?
Yeah, why not just do whatever you want?
Yeah.
No direction means that you could do anything.
Yeah.
Including just nonsense.
That's for sure. And I'm sure you guys lend a lot of. You guys get to have a lot of creative freedom when you are able to kind of like control your own, stories and whatnot in that sense. So Max, as I said at the start of the show, your style, it's compromise of throws and more importantly, very heavy strikes influenced by the King's Road All Japan style. So do you have any specific influences that you had wrestling wise that you worked to develop your style?
A lot of Stan Hansen, a lot of Mizawa, a lot of Kawada, just those big meaty strikes. Like, I try not to do it where it's like, oh, I'm a blind man, making sure that I make contact. Like, I try my best.
Yeah.
And then, like, more modern examples, like, I really fell in love with Walter when he was still when he was Progress champion and when he was what was their old, I was trying to think of this the other day, what was their old champion that Walter was like, they had a belt that was like the Atlas.
The Atlas Championship.
Was it called the Atlas? I wasn't sure about that. But like,
yeah.
It was like their heavyweight title technically.
It's back actually. I keep up a little bit with Progress. Haven't really watched it fully in a while, but yeah, that's a great division. And I'm sure you being a Paradigm Pro guy, you have Fight, the Triller, whatever it's called today. But on the Progress show that they did on the Collective, the Atlas Championship match, Yoichi and Ricky Knight Jr., who is Paige's younger brother, holy fuck. They beat the shit out of each other. That was one of my favorite matches of WrestleMania weekend. So, if you liked that era with Walter as Atlas champion, you'll love this match.
There's like this weird place in wrestling right now where I feel like we're moving out of, like, especially on the indie wrestling, we're moving out of the deathmatch era because indie wrestling just kind of ever since at least I've been I've been like pay attention to the indies. It's kind of gone through like these waves of like,
sure,
what is the style? What is the hot style? And I feel like we're moving out of deathmatch and into meaty men hitting each other.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that. I feel bad for the Catch Boys because they had their time in the sun for like a week during the pandemic.
Yes.
I felt like they, like, for a week, everyone was all in on catch wrestling. Like, I feel bad for my boy Travis.
Yeah, I was going to mention
like,
Travis.
That was the hottest style. And like, it just was like, no, we're going to do deathmatch, actually.
We had Travis on the show back at that time too. So
yeah, when he was facing Lee Moriarty up in Limitless Wrestling, and that was a hell of a time, with Lee and Daniel Garcia and Wheeler on top there.
Yeah, we just had like 5 of the best grapplers.
Yeah,
all the MPs.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So, Max, you're no stranger to the top of the card for Wrestlers Lab. You had a very physical, hard-hitting main event against then champion MV Young a couple years back at Chemical MV. So, considering that, what is your game plan to get back in this main event picture in Wrestlers Lab?
Well, I think what's annoying about Lab is that you currently have a champion, Eel, who's not really interested in defending the belt against people he knows he's going to lose to.
Sure.
He's very interested in defending the belt against people that he's either fought before or is interested in fighting people who match his style. He's not interested in fighting me. We've had plenty of back and forths on Twitter that essentially are like, Max hasn't... What has he done at Lab? Like, he can't be the next in line. And it's just kind of like, it's insane. So I think the first step in reminding people why I am very dangerous and why I deserve to smack Eel across the ring and take that belt from him is dismantling Big Game Leroy and just showing him that, like, hard work is what pays off. Like, I don't care how many gifts you have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what famous people have seen you do a Hurricane Rana with a switch in your hand. Like, I am here to outwork you and outpace you. Like,
right. And that was basically the basis for the reason why you ended your relationship with Eel, correct? Is that like you, from your perspective, you're somebody that has worked so hard and put in the time, while you feel that Eel has kind of had things handed to him based on the fact that he's gone viral.
Well, for big game, I think Eel is actually a good example of someone who has worked very hard.
Big game, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Eel is an example of someone who's worked very hard and has become very comfortable. Has done everything he needs to do to achieve that belt, and I will never take away the fact that Eel works hard. But I fear he has become comfortable sitting atop the mountain, and like he isn't interested in having a fair fight. And I don't know if I would consider getting in the ring with me a fair fight, but he's become way too comfortable with taking those shortcuts, and that is the thing with the game here, is that you've seen enough, you've seen my matches, like, you know, I am here to endure, and I am here to take the punishment, and I am here to figure out who is the best wrestler out there. I'm not here because the Twitter algorithm, I'm never calling it X. If anyone ever tells me to call it X, they're the first person getting chopped when I see them.
I refuse to even put the logo on our stuff.
Like, I'm not here to get the engagement from Twitter. I'm not here to pop a bunch of people who aren't interested in wrestling, who are interested in watching a soap opera and want to see a cool thing once in a while. I am here to prove that I'm the best fighter. And I was like thinking about this before, like there's a lot of people who take these shortcuts because they need wrestling. Like I don't know if it's like a skill thing or it's like necessarily just like this is the only thing I've ever known and loved. But like they decide to take these shortcuts, they decide to do things easy. They go for the things that are going to pop the crowd, and they go for the things that are going to not give them anything in the long run, but like in the short term, you're going to get like 1 million views for it. And like, I don't know, I've never needed wrestling. I've never needed someone to come up to me and say, hey, Max, you're the best striker I know. Because I haven't needed that. And I work hard because I find it fun. I'm not here, like if I didn't make a buck through wrestling, I would still be doing it. I'm not here to become a millionaire. I'm not here to become like an internet sensation. I am here to wrestle. And I am here to hit things as hard as I possibly can to prove that I am the best wrestler. And I feel like Big Game Leroy for way too long has been in that camp of, if I do something with my Switch, like I don't really need to do much in this match. Like I can take those shortcuts, I can do these things, and then I can sneak out a win. Like I'll survive long enough. Like I am a killer. I am not a survivor. I'm not here just to survive and then win in the end. I am here to knock someone's head off. And they're going to put up a good fight, and I'm going to respect, and I respect the people who come into the ring, and everyone in the Paradigm locker room, everyone at any of the promotions who send people in front of me, and you're here willing to fight, I will respect you. But I will not respect people who are taking these shortcuts. And for too long, I turned a blind eye to Big Game Leroy's shortcuts. And it becomes more obvious. Like Big Game's moveset can be named based off the viral like TikToks that he does. Like he's like Hurricane Rana with a switch. Oh, he did an arm drag with the switch.
So I have a question here, just regarding that. You say shortcuts, and you want to be the best wrestler. So what is it? What's the reason we have a fans bring the weapons match, essentially a no DQ match? Why aren't we having a strike fest where you're comfortable?
Because I think it was a little bit of Lab trying to give Leroy a chance. Okay. I genuinely think it's a little bit of, hey, we need to give, like, Leroy won't survive if it's just a straight up match.
Okay.
And Leroy, I think this is what upsets me the most, is that Leroy is a good wrestler.
Very.
But the fact that he needs these things is a lot. And I think a big reason why I agreed to do this, because I know everyone keeps saying that, like, hey, like, oh, y'all voted. Like, no, like me and Leroy said, hey, we're going to do this because we don't like each other. Like, Like, it's simple as that. Like, we just don't, philosophically, we have a difference on how wrestling works. And it's just, sometimes you got to break stuff on someone to get a point across, right? I don't.
Right. And it's surprising that when you package pile drove Leroy on the Switch just 2 years ago, he hasn't gone through any sort of self-reflection to think about,
He's still doing the video game stuff.
still doing the thing.
Yeah, he's still doing the thing. He had a whole injury to think about, what do I need to change, and he said, "Oh, I've turned to a different console generation. Now I'm the PS5."
Now I'm a PS5.
And it's just like, I hope the brutality of this match awakens something in Leroy. Genuinely, I don't like him, but I think if you can beat something out of someone, I'm going to try and do it.
I would like to
Try
see
and get
that.
him.
And if this is a way for Leroy to level up, no pun intended, I think that Max, you might be the best thing to happen to his career.
I love violence. Eric, do you have a weapon picked out? I know you're going to be in attendance.
I haven't.
What are you bringing?
I don't know. Staring in front of me right now is a Rip Bison action figure.
Bring that.
Well, that would be a funny action.
Bring that. Bring Rip Bison to the show.
Yeah. I don't know.
You should bring the real Rip Bison and use him as
Bring
a
the
weapon.
real Rip Bison.
Real Rip Bison. Use Rip Bison as a weapon. Why not? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen Stranger Things.
As long as
in
he's
the
not in
wrestling ring.
Japan, he should be good.
I think he's back, so I think we're good. I believe he's back.
So Max, obviously you've stood toe to toe, went strike for strike with a lot of badasses in independent wrestling. Who have been some of your favorite opponents, and who are some people that you haven't had the opportunity to face yet that you would very much like to?
I think the one that always comes to mind that I haven't faced yet is I have never faced Manders.
Okay.
I've never faced Manders. I don't even think I've been on a show with Manders. Like, I think me and Manders could absolutely hit. I've always wanted, any person who gets into Bloodsport, I've always wanted to fight.
Oh, really?
The biggest people, like legit badass and stablemate Matt Mikowski. Me and him fought in Paradigm. Yeah. Lord Crew is insane. Big Beef.
I love Big Beef, bro. I'm such a stan of Big Beef. Yeah, I don't know why, but like, he's just somebody that right away you love him. I don't know what it is. He just has this it factor to him, and you want to see him succeed.
Derek Neal's another one.
Oh,
I love Derek Neal. I fought him
on our show.
Another friend of the show.
Love that guy. Top 3 people I fought like the most. I know it's like him and Devontae are like the two like who are up there.
Devontae is such a
terrifying presence.
He's a terrifying presence, and he's such an underrated talent. Like, of somebody
he's never beaten me.
Yeah. He just
he's a baby.
I guess he is a baby, but like, I just think he has such a unique look that a lot of people should
you should fight him more places.
Devontae, except when he's facing Max Zero, of course.
He should prove that he's not a baby by fighting me more. I don't ask for much.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, I love that you brought up Derek Neal, because I think he is just one of the best going today. And everything he does is so real and believable. And there needs to be a lot more eyes on that guy.
He does.
100%. Yeah.
Filthy Tom Lawler's another one.
Ooh, that you want to face?
No, I have. I fought
you have faced Filthy Tom.
Yep.
Oh. Ooh. So I imagine that was with Paradigm Pro?
Yes.
All right. I gotta go and check that out too.
Check out.
So anybody very specifically that you haven't wrestled yet that you still could?
Like I said, Manders,
like you said, yeah.
Manders yeah.
I'm not sure, because there's a lot of people on I feel like when it comes to the heavy hitters of indie wrestling, I feel like I have fought like the top ones.
Okay.
Like, I really have, like, other than Manders, like, I'm struggling to think of anyone who's like, how
about international? Like, who would you want to face?
My brain. I'll think of it. Vinny Massa.
Vinny Massaro?
Yes. There we go.
Over in San Francisco.
Met him once or twice. I would love to wrestle him.
Excellent.
Max, I mean, the way that you're talking, I think that it'd be perfect for you to be on a Bloodsport someday.
Please. Put me on a Bloodsport.
Man, let's manifest that for you. Bloodsport is one of my favorite shows of the year also.
Especially the last one. Holy shit.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
My favorite match was definitely the astronauts beating the fuck out of each other.
They're so good.
Yeah. My God.
They have they're just doing their own thing too, which I love. They just kind of like put on shows over Japan. They're just like, yeah, we're gonna put on the best show of the year. Like, it's no big deal, guys.
Right, as freelancers too. It's just like they're such artists out there. Just once again, just want to mention, just to put a little bow on Oh My Glob for right now, just to remind everybody, this all started between Big Game Leroy and Max Zero 2 years ago, Mutant Melee at Showabunga 1. Big Game Leroy got the win, and Max answered with a package pile driver onto the Nintendo Switch. So if you just want to leave everybody listening right now with just what we should be expecting in this match, what do you have to say, Max?
I'm going to try and change the color of Leroy's chest.
Okay.
Plain and simple.
I like that.
Simple.
I mean, I'm thinking back to when Walter faced PCO like 5 years ago. Are we going to see that kind of level of chest change?
Absolutely.
Jesus Christ!
You saw how red Sheamus's chest got at King of the Ring. Like, that level. Like, it's just going to be a brutal fight. That's another one. I've never gotten to fight PCO.
Ooh, yeah.
Would love to fight PCO.
I'm sure you have another. I would say to you, time is limited on when you can fight him. Maybe he has another 2 years.
He's an immortal zombie.
He's going to surprise us by wrestling another 10 years.
Isn't that his thing? Like, he's an immortal zombie.
Yeah. You have all the time in the world.
Yeah, he's a Frankenstein, right?
Yeah.
I believe it. They say yourself turned up to 11. I think he might actually be a zombie. So.
I've also never fought. I think me versus. Oh my God, his name just. Iron Demon. I don't know why names are flying.
Jane Mercer.
Jane Mercer, yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in the Indies who say that I'm one of the strongest people in the Indies, and I think he is actually probably the strongest person on the Indies, and I think that would just be a fun time.
I just saw the clip of him swinging around the bleachers.
Yeah, bleacher. Yeah,
that clip goes viral like once every 3 months. I love it.
Yep, it's fantastic.
My non-wrestling friends were blown away by that.
And it's always like someone who's not in wrestling reposting, being like, "If you guys think wrestling isn't serious, how do you explain this?" And it's just like pulling like bleachers out.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you this: we've asked about wrestlers. Are there any promotions that you've yet to hit that you would like to, whether it be here or abroad?
Yes, big ones right now. Action. I would love to hit.
Love that.
Enjoy. I've never been on an Enjoy show. I would love to be a part of their stuff. I've also never been up to beat up MV or any of his students up at 880. Prestige would be fun. I've never really broken out on the
West
upper
Coast.
Northeast. I've never been on Beyond. I've never been on Limitless or any of those shows up there. But there's a lot of shows that I would love to. I would love to be a part of, especially if they could get me some people just to hit me back.
I love to hear that, and hopefully this Northeast show leads to more of them. I'm not in the Northeast anymore. I'm down in Charlotte, but yeah, I mean, I would love to, because I know Eric is close to a lot of those, Beyond and Limitless and Pro Wrestling Grind and all that. So
come back to Grind.
Yeah. Max Zero has been on Pro Wrestling Grind before. Fresh me, who did you face on Grind?
I fought Channing Thomas.
Yes. That's right. Yeah, we got to get you against Rip.
I would love me versus Perry. Me, just then I go back to people I've never fought and want to fight. Me versus Perry. Me versus Rip.
Yeah.
Me versus anyone on that roster for the most part. I don't think I've wrestled many of them.
Or Delmy even.
Delmy, that would be sick.
For my money, Delmy's the biggest baby face of that promotion.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah. So
always got a
big bastard like you, I think, would be a perfect opponent for her.
Me versus Skyros.
There you go. There
sure.
you go. I don't know. I'd probably boost. I would definitely boost Skyros over you. You'd be babyface by default. Nobody likes the sad boy on pro wrestling ground.
Just 2 heels.
Yeah.
Like, boo, we don't want either of these people to win. Too bad, all of you. One of us is winning.
That sounds like a dream match to me. I love a good heel on heel battle.
Book a grind and or high tension wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to kind of flip that last question, if we're looking at it, do you have any aspirations of working internationally?
I would love to work internationally. I would love to go over to Japan. WXW, I would love to be part of the 16 Carat at one point, or even just to go over and like just punch people.
I think WXW would be such a great, opportunity for you in that I have noticed that WXW, like every single year, I forget what the actual event is called, but they bring in a lot of American independent talent.
16 Karat Gold. It's their big
the 16 Karat Gold
elimination tournament.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Derek Neal was just on that.
Yes.
Didn't Jaden Newman do that tournament?
Newman did it.
Jaden Newman, Derek Neal.
Did it. O'Shea
was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people I know who I could probably just reach out to and be like, hey, who do I talk to?
Yeah.
How good does my German need to be?
Yeah, there you go. I felt like there was a chance you had a lot of connections to possibly get there. So, yeah, man, I wish you all the best.
For sure.
Maybe you can adjust your shitty attitude a little bit.
No.
But I'm just kidding.
I don't have a bad attitude.
Change.
I'm just realistic about wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't have a bad attitude.
No.
I'm not getting angry with you guys. I'm not getting angry with Leroy. I'm just kind of disappointed with Leroy.
Yeah.
I'm just the dad that Leroy needs right now. I'm just a little bit disappointed.
Bad Leroy.
Absolutely. Do some nurture.
Yeah, no, but in all seriousness, it's nice to have you here on the show. We're gonna chat about some wrestling if you want to hang out with us for a little while.
Yeah,
but do you want to let anybody know where they may find you?
Yes, you can find me in several spots. Over on the Twitter machine, you can find me at HandsomeMax0. On Instagram, you can find me at HandsomeMax0. Stuff that's coming up for me, go watch Oh My Glob. There's a lot of really fun matches on there. And you're going to watch either me or Big Game Leroy die, which is always fun. So,
it's going
to be a great time. You might not enjoy my stuff, but, you're going to enjoy 8 other matches that are all just a ton of fun.
My God.
I'm also in Philly on Saturday. I'm wrestling for the CCW Championship against their newly crowned champion, Aaron Ash. That's over in Love Park.
CCW?
It's a free show, so if anyone is watching wants to come out and watch it.
Wait,
CCW.
Like Combat Zone Wrestling?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that'll be fun.
That's huge, bud.
Also, I don't know, donate to a local animal shelter if you have one. Donate to your local homeless outreach or hospice. Use that money for something other than I don't know, your 15th Roman Reigns shirt. Go out and put it towards something. Go out and come to Dropkick Depression in the summer and donate to them, because they're always a lot of fun and they do a lot of good work.
Excellent.
Awesome.
All good causes.
Mental health
use
awareness.
your money put your wallet where your mouth is. Do something good with it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Real quick, Max. Do you have fur babies?
I have way too many fur babies, and I don't think any of them are here.
Oh, how many?
I have 4 cats and a dog, and none of them are down here.
And I have 4 dogs and a cat.
Hell yeah. When you watch the video, you'll probably see them wandering in the background. Because I definitely saw one of them over my shoulder at one point.
All right. So what are the cats' names?
We have Jester, we have
Cool.
Cole, we have Naito, and we have Garrus.
Naito?
Yep.
Yes.
Nice.
I love New Japan. Ishii, you guys asked me who I'd like to fight for overseas.
man.
Ishii is my number one dream opponent across the board, all demographics, all age groups.
That's freaking. That's freaking.
Do not repeat. Do not pass go.
I think that is a match that I would love to be front and center for. Ishii is just one of those dudes that is just a brick shithouse, man. Like, just no matter what, he's gonna take everything you got and then ask you for just a little bit more. So I could see that being it makes sense as far as a dream match is concerned.
It's like all the lofty people, like obviously Mox, obviously Cesaro, obviously like Sheamus, obviously Walter, like all the big, everyone you think who could like slap me, like all those people are like. If you ask yourself, does this person like slapping me? Most likely, I want to wrestle them.
Have you wrestled Eddie?
I've not wrestled Eddie.
Really?
I think people think I've been in this business for longer than I have. Like, I've only been wrestling for about like 4 years.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I just missed the Eddie train of like if it was going to happen on the Indies. Like,
okay.
Like he got like, I think like the year I debuted was the same year that he showed up and just knocked it out of the park against Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
During the pandemic, it was like the same time, and I was like, I wish I had a chance to, because the first time I saw him was at Progress when he cut that insane promo against Ilya.
Oh, on Cara Noir.
Yeah, no, it was was it Cara or was it Ilya?
I think it may have been Cara Noir because he was talking about actors versus actual
it was the
wrestlers.
actors one, and he kept getting up and he kept pile driving him.
Yeah.
Just an insane promo, and I was just like, I want to wrestle this guy so bad. And then I found out he's an old Chikara guy, and I'm like, oh, this could happen. And then like he gets signed to AEW, and I was just like, oh.
Well, yeah, that's why. That's because the Chikara connection to me it pinged, and I said, I mean, truth be told, I didn't know how long your career was. You do seem like a much more seasoned veteran than 4 years. You know, what's that?
I'm a little baby who likes hitting people.
You're a little, yeah, no, it's good to be recognized as somebody that has a good, brain for it and knowledge even beyond their years. So so that's why I was like, yeah, this dude's definitely wrestled Eddie Kingston.
I would have loved to. It's still, I don't know why I said it like it's never gonna happen. Like it could happen, but like
definitely.
I don't know why I said it's like, oh, I would love to. Like only if he wasn't like 1,000 miles away. I don't know why I said it like that.
Yeah, no, I think that, and now knowing that little bit of 4 years into the business, I think that you for sure have a much brighter future than even expected. I thought you'd been around the block and you were on the other side of your career.
This is my 10th year of wrestling.
No.
All right, so let's talk a little Backlash France. First of all,
I'm gonna open this energy drink. I
Sure.
apologize. I hope it's not like
no.
There we go.
No problem. It's like we're on the Steve Austin podcast. It's fine.
I'm gonna hide the logo so I don't like. We're not sponsored, but you could sponsor me. I will shill for anything. I once cut an entire promo on Lenny and Larry Cookies about how they should just sponsor me because like they could literally tell me anything and I would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally cut the whole promo. Just like, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. Like you need me to like tattoo something on myself? Like let's fucking go. Like
I'll sponsor most companies. I'm a capitalist at heart. Let's do this.
All right. So Backlash France, guys. What did you? First of all, this was a crowd unlike any crowd that I have seen. In that, I feel like they were different from the British crowds in that they were like especially hyped. In that, like I feel like they were overly excited just to like chant at everything,
Yeah.
you know, but it was a good vibe overall. And I was really,
he seemed just excited that wrestling was happening.
yeah.
Like, not even that they were like, just like, oh, WWE's in town. It's like, oh, like, we're watching wrestling. It never happens for us. And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't recall ever hearing about a France event outside a live event, right? Not like a house show, no pay-per-view or anything to that effect, even Raw or SmackDown. So they are essentially starved. It was, you know, kind of the same way, you know, London was for All In, and you know, Australia even was when they came down there. So that's why these international crowds are so hype, and it's fun as hell.
Hell yeah. But right off the bat, we had the new Bloodline Solo and Tama Tonga against Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. This was just a lot of fun, you know, fighting all over the arena here. And really the big story coming out of this was the debut of Tonga Loa, who is now part of this new Bloodline.
Everyone's favorite Gorilla of Destiny.
You think so?
No.
Is it? I didn't think so.
I didn't think so because nobody knew the man was a free agent for all.
I didn't know he was either.
Purposes,
the last time I heard about him was when he was throwing those really bad punches at
Great O'Con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last time I remember hearing about him.
Yeah.
I don't think that the last year or two of work of Tonga Loa is really all that great, but you know what? I like the Gorillas of Destiny together. I think they're a really great
as a tag team.
As a tag team, I think that this strengthens the whole situation. No way they're going to use Tonga Loa as a singles person.
They're gonna. They need to get the theme song though.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't care if it doesn't fit the Bloodline aesthetic at all. Like, they need to get the Gorillas of Destiny.
Right. Yeah. That smooth, like dangerous vibe.
Ain't nobody realer than Gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that this was just a placeholder for Jacob Fatu, right? Like, because aren't
there rumors that like they're like, we don't know what to do with Jacob Fatu because he's going to outshine.
Yes. I was
just like, we can't make this guy a minion. He's gonna outshine our dude.
He really, I mean, he is.
I mean, the moment they ring the bell, everyone's gonna know.
No, like he is. It's just I just find that very funny. Like, we signed him, and now we don't know.
We signed him, and we're too scared to use him.
You know, it's
guys. He's really good. Is what they're doing right now.
We don't know what the fuck to do, but
he's too good.
Do you guys think that they might pivot and have Jacob Fatu aligned with the Usos because he has a style that like kind of lends itself a little bit more to babyface?
It's intriguing because it but still you're going to have to even the sides out somehow if you're going to go to the potential, you know, War Games match or whatever it ends up being. So, you know, the rumor being that they want to use Sami Zayn as a, you know, again in that spot. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think I like it for like a one night only type of thing for Sami.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it like him prolonged and we do a rehash of him in the Bloodline again, because I don't think that would really benefit him in his upward trajectory.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I'd be all right with it just for one night.
I mean, maybe they just don't have Roman really involved at all, to be honest with you. The man seems like he's kind of on his way out, right? Like,
I mean, it's all we're all on speculation.
Yeah. So maybe it is the Usos and Fatu versus the God and you know, Solo. Maybe that's the way you go. I don't know.
We'll have to see how The Rock ties into it too. What side does he take? I think he's going to go with the new Bloodline.
Who knows?
But yeah, other matches on this card that I loved Cody and AJ Styles. Like, I know that it wasn't like necessarily built that strong, but for people that have been following their careers for so long, I thought it was really cool that AJ wore tights that were reminiscent of the tights that he wore when he faced Dusty Rhodes back in TNA.
Yeah.
And I thought that they had a really solid, well-worked match. AJ pulling out the Burning Hammer really popped me. I thought that it was good.
I saw all the buzz about the Burning Hammer. To me, I was just like, oh, it's just another move. It didn't strike
That
me.
Burning Hammer alone.
Yeah.
Unless you're winning, AJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it didn't look like a Burning Hammer, right? Like, to me, it did, but it also, like, something about it didn't have the impact that the move is supposed to have.
Cody got up afterwards. That's the problem with it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we're not talking Kenta Kobashi.
That's the problem with the Burning Hammer he did, is that Cody didn't die from it. That's the only time you should use a Burning Hammer, and that goes for anyone who does them. It should be the last thing.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's what you say to anybody. That is a finisher of all finishers.
Yes.
Okay.
I think any finisher that's been protected to the point where it's like, we as a collective wrestling has been like, nobody kicks out of that move. Like, if you do it, like, you should win with it, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like one
yes.
It's like,
is there a finisher that you've taken that's the worst? What's the worst?
What do you mean? Like,
hurts pain wise?
Oh, I thought you meant like the overdrive, like, which is the worst finisher I've ever taken. Like,
the overdrive is a bad finisher.
It's a bad finisher. No,
yeah, the play of the day MVP.
I don't know. I've been double stomped real hard.
Oh, yeah.
I've been double stomped like to death before. Like, it's not fun.
That's one of those moves that I always I say to people, that say, well, is wrestling fake? You're like, nope. This can't feel good. You can't fake this, really. I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant, but it doesn't seem fakeable to me.
There's some finishers that are not fun, but
yeah.
But no, there are some finishers that no one should be kicking out of them, and I think it's the ones that we have agreed no one should be kicking out.
What else is on that list?
There's not a lot, really. It's like Burning Hammer, like One-Winged Angel. Like, what else is a move that, like, no one really kicks out of?
I mean, when I think about protected finishers today, I think Rainmaker's a big one.
Rainmaker's another one.
Rainmaker. Even though a lot of people use variations of this move, I think that Malachi Black's, Black Mask, that's just a game ender. Yes. Like, nobody should ever kick out of that, But yeah, I think that we desperately need more protected finishers in wrestling.
Finishers that, like, are just death.
Yeah.
Like, no, like, they hit that, like, it's over. Like, sorry, come again another day.
Yeah, so I would say another match that stood out to me in this card, just for the spectacle of it, really, was Bianca and Jade beating the Kabuki Warriors for the tag team championships. I know a lot of people this week have been, like, going after Jade about, like, her not being a great worker and all that. I don't think she's necessarily there to be, like, a stalwart, wrestler, but more of an attraction. And I think that pairing her with Bianca is just the perfect scenario to hide some of her weaknesses and just, accentuate on her strengths. And these two together, I think, are going to make the company so much money.
But I think the big problem that people are having is that, like, Jade is in there with, like, three of the best wrestlers that, like, they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it's just like it just sticks. Like, it's not bad. She's not bad. Like, she just sticks out like a sore thumb when it's like, oh, like, three of the best women to ever do it are currently in the ring with her.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like, okay, like it's like, I don't think she's bad. Like, I think she does what she does very well. Like, It's just like when you're in there with like some of the best wrestlers in the world, like it's sometimes it just sticks out like a sore thumb.
You're gonna look bad by comparison.
You're not like not even at that same level, but not doing the same like caliber, I guess, of stuff.
And there's feats of athleticism that Asuka couldn't do that Jade can, right? Like they're different. Asuka is gonna go down as one of the greatest of all time, right? Like no doubt about
it. That's like the big thing is like it's like oh she didn't look as good as the other women. It's like yeah, like two of the women in there are two of the best Joshi wrestlers like of the last 10 years.
Yeah,
like a lot of people would not be the third best wrestler in that match.
No,
like I think that's the thing is like it's like oh like she didn't do as well as the other ones. It's like oh but everyone did. She's in there with the best of the best.
She held her own. And deserves all the credit in the world because she is a genetic freak, literally, like that, like in every sense of the word, and fun to look at and fun to watch squash people. Wrestling needs that, right? Like it needs that.
It's like me showing up to Mr. Universe and being like, "Wow, Max looks real weak here." It's like, yeah, like these people are professional powerlifters.
Yeah,
they can lift like 1,000. They can deadlift like 1,000 pounds.
Exactly, perfect.
Like, I'm not weak. I'm weak. I'm strong compared to like most people, but like these people are like professionals.
Right.
It's like that. Exactly. It's like I think Jade does very well. It's just like in the sense of like when you're in there with like very good people, like sometimes people are like, oh, like she did bad compared to the other ones. It's like no, she did good. It's just like everyone else in there is insane.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm happy that they got the win here, and this is just going to be really good position for Jade just to get better, being with Bianca Belair, and
again the main women's title.
Yeah, so we also had Priest and Jey Uso on this card. I thought this was fine overall. I guess just like part of me with these kinds of matches, Damian Priest's first defense, I don't necessarily feel as a fan like he's really in any sort of danger of winning the championship or losing the championship. But I thought for what it was good. And now what happened? Jey Uso lost because of interference from two other guys from Judgment Day, right?
Something to that effect.
It was Finn and JD. Yeah. So
you read that Finn Balor re-signed there at WWE?
Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily like how Finn has been booked lately. But I feel like they're kind of being a little ageist to him. The fact that he is 42 years old, and maybe they are kind of pushing him aside to.
He's younger than I am.
Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah. He looks great for his age.
He absolutely does. But like, I mean, at least the way I see it is like, Max, you being a huge New Japan fan, like the legendary history of Prince Devitt and New Japan Pro Wrestling, and just like what he is capable of if you allow him to be able to, lead a group and, be a main event superstar. And I still think that he has that in him. I just think that they are a little bit gun shy, really, just because of his age.
Yeah. I also think he's from that tragic group of NXT call-ups that are kind of lost in the water. That I think, like now that Trips is in charge, like they're going to try and steer those boats. Like that weird, like middle section of like NXT call-ups that were like, ooh, it's Finn Balor, ooh, it's Samoa Joe, ooh, it's like
Kevin Owens,
Nakamura, and then they just never really did anything with them.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Nakamura's kind of in that same boat. You're right. I mean, I kind of want Nakamura to come back to New Japan, but I don't know if do you think he would be down? I think he likes the
I think he's just having fun
style of WWE, and that like it's a lot easier on his body.
Yeah,
You know?
I think he's just having fun, and he's just like,
Yeah.
I get to surf whenever I want, and then wrestle like once every 3
We've
months.
talked about this on the show many times. Just
He loves
Shinsuke just
surfing.
wants to chill and surf.
Hey,
I love that.
Good.
Yeah,
Retire if that's the way you want to retire as a pro wrestler. A lot of people don't get to, right?
Yeah.
So let him do his thing, right?
Yeah, just let him surf, man.
Yeah.
Make him a producer or something. Like, let him surf.
And do you guys have any feelings on the women's championship match? I mean, I thought it was fine. I thought I love this character for Bayley right now. I would have rather have been a one-on-one match with whoever. But I feel like Bayley is kind of she's giving me vibes of kind of like an Okada in a way of like she's the women's ace of WWE. Do you see that at all, Max?
A little bit, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just a weird direction because I really enjoyed like heavy heel Bayley.
Yeah.
And like it's weird to go back to babyface now, and like just she should have been the heel like the full time. Like,
it was very much a flip flop, but she is a cornerstone, right? And I see Eric's point there, in that you can plug her in whenever, wherever to do whatever is needed, and there's not a lot like her. And I give Bayley all the credit in the world because her match with Sasha at the time, sort of relaunched me into watching wrestling again as a lapsed fan. So
one of the best NXT matches of all time.
One of my favorite matches of all time. Period. I go back to it regularly and watch it. So just when I get a chance. So yeah, I agree with you there, Eric.
Yeah, and Bayley, when you look at the 4 horsewomen too, like I feel like she hasn't really accomplished as much as everybody else. It's really just it's time to really get her going and show everyone just how good she is, how she can just maintain a presence at the top of the card, Yeah, so moving on, we have our King of the Ring tournament that's going on right now. It started up on Raw. Max, you said you didn't get a chance to see it.
I have watched one match of this, and it's the only match that matters in my opinion, and that is Sheamus versus
Gunther.
versus Gunther.
Hell yeah!
Oh my god!
Do you, from all accounts, Ricochet versus Ilya was good. I didn't get to see it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was. Holy shit! I heard someone say like they felt like they were like 2 guys that are normally on PW, like at PWG shows. They're like we felt like we were in Reseda watching this match. It was just balls to the wall. Dragunov is just he takes everything.
He needs to stop doing that weird land he does on his superplex. But like other than that, like he's insane.
I'll keep an eye out for that. I'm sure
he landed square on top of his head. Because he tries to like tuck out of it, and it's just like so weird. And I watched it, I'm just like, oh boy, man.
I gotcha.
A lot of the stuff that I watch him do doesn't seem very natural or fluid, but just insanely violent. Would you say that that's a correct account as a fellow in-ring competitor?
Yes, he is a violent man. He's not fluid. He's just here to beat you up. Like he just wants to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen that match other than like the few clips that have gone around, but like,
God, I mean, I can't say enough about the guy. And just going back, Gunther and Sheamus, I thought really showed out too. And I like how they just tell a different story every time they're in the ring with each other.
Yes.
This one more toward like, another story of Sheamus just like coming so close, just like a hair of a difference of him going for the cover, like he came so damn close, and finally like it's like his body gave up once he tapped out to the half crab. And they just tell brilliant stories every time they're in the ring. And by the way, their match at Clash of the Castle, I think that year, I think it was 2022. That was our match of the year between me and Dan. We both agreed.
It was my match of the year too.
Yeah.
It was like that, and then like I think this was the same year, but the Jeff Cobb versus Shingo Takagi for the
Oh
openweight.
yeah,
That
Yeah.
happened like at the beginning of the year. It happened like January 6th, and I was like, God damn it!
Yeah, that was that.
Like you can't
New
do the
Year's
match
Dash,
video
right?
off the bat.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really hard. Like we're actually this year we're trying to keep track, maybe not in the best way, but of matches that we've had throughout the whole year of just to try to not forget about them, because you know you get such recency bias when you think about
Oh yeah.
match of the year. You know what I mean? But yeah, Uso also, Jey Uso advanced against Finn Balor, so we're going to be getting Ilya against Jey Uso. I'm very, very, very curious about how that's going to play out.
To see Finn versus Ilya.
Yeah, that would have been great too, but it's not going to be. Gunther, I predict he's probably going to be facing. It's going to be Kofi against Mysterio. Probably going to be Kofi, and he's going to put even more of an indent in Kofi's chest.
Oh, Jesus.
There was
Or it could be Mysterio, just throw him around the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, God, that hasn't happened. And if you remember Walter hit the 619 one time?
Mm-hmm.
Walter needs to always hit the 619.
Yeah, for sure. The SmackDown side of this bracket has also been revealed. Let's just go down real quick. Who we think is going to win? Yeah. So we have AJ Styles against Randy Orton. I think it's probably going to be Orton.
Probably Orton,
Yeah.
And we got Dan, who do you think?
Orton.
Yeah. And Carmelo Hayes against the returning babyface Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go Baron Corbin.
Yo, I've been loving his work.
Let's go. Let's go Baron Corbin.
I think
ever since he was sad Corbin, I've been a fan.
Bum Corbin was the shit.
Sad Corbin was so funny.
He just proved to himself. He proves himself to be just an MVP, not an MVP, but just one of the most consistent, forces in everything he does recently. His NXT run has been awesome, like really good.
One of my favorite bits he ever did was he gets locked out of the building and security won't let him in because they don't believe that he's Baron Corbin. and the bus outside has his face on it.
Yeah.
And he keeps pointing to it. It's like, I'm Baron Corbin. It's like, no, you're not, sir.
Was that when he had a little bit of hair grown out?
Yeah, he had a little bit of hair, and he was wearing the same white shirt that just kept getting more
shirt,
stained
all
every
disheveled.
week.
Yeah.
Sad Corbin because he lost all his money.
Yep.
Great stuff. But yeah, I think it's going to be Mello, but I want to see them do more with Corbin because even if you follow him on social media, he seems like a pretty fucking cool guy. He's just making steaks all the time. Yeah. He goes into the press box at Chiefs games, hanging out with Taylor Swift and all these celebrities. He's got to have some sort of real life charisma that we haven't quite seen come to pasture on WWE TV. So I hope we see more of that. But moving on, we have LA Knight against Santos Escobar. I imagine it's going to be LA Knight. What was that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not fans of those guys?
I just fear that LA Knight has brought the second horse of the wrestling apocalypse, which is the yeah chant. The first horse was the what chant. Mm-hmm. Now we have the yeah chant. I feel it will never recover.
So you think it's going to linger on 20 years later?
Oh yeah, no, I fully expect this to become the new what chant, and I'm just going to be like, oh no.
Oh god.
It's going to be ruining wrestling promos 10 years from now.
Oh god. I mean, shit. If he's responsible for that, then yeah, I'm no longer supporting that man.
Here, I'm here to tell you something, and the crowd just goes here, and I'm like, oh
yeah.
And that's when I roll out of the ring and I leave.
Mm-hmm.
I had a 10-minute promo to cut. No, I'm leaving. You guys don't get a promo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
if you're going to do that.
Stand your ground with that bullshit. Hopefully, it doesn't become.
I don't think it's as bad as
what is.
But I think it's going to be bad.
It's as fans, it's embarrassing, man. Like to hear what still. I didn't really like it then, but it's worse now.
I just feel like it was appropriate for that awful era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very telling that like when Stone Cold Steve Austin gave his least amount of shits is when like the fans were like, "This is what we're gonna latch onto."
Yeah,
like, this is forever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally him just going out. It's like, I don't care. What are you saying? Where?
What? That was ATV Austin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like just like I would rather be anywhere but here. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like I'm just like great.
Feuding with Eric Bischoff, great times.
Yeah.
All right, then finally, Tama Tonga singles debut against Bobby Lashley for the King of the Ring. This should be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I think Lashley would be that like stable would be a great. It'd be great if that Pride stable worked with the Bloodline for a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of want to see more like if WWE is going to go down this rank of like the top heel thing is going to be this faction. I want to see more like factions, I guess.
Yeah,
me too.
It's like, and this is like just a general like, it's just a general wrestling thing. Like I don't know why baby faces are so dumb. Like if you know the person you're wrestling or who's a heel is in a faction, like why are you coming out by yourself?
For sure.
Like, what do you think
they should apply that logic a lot more often.
Like dummy, what do you think's happening? There's 5 people in the ring right now.
Yeah.
Baby
faces should work together a lot more.
Yeah, just like I just want to see like 5 baby faces come out and be like, okay, I brought my friend. Now we can have this talk. Next week in SmackDown, like I know it's always
it's groan inducing because get some friends, right? Like you're supposed to be likable.
Oh,
how come the assholes have the friends?
How come no one likes you? Yeah.
Oh, I love it whenever like a baby face is getting beat down and it takes like 20 minutes for people to come out of the back. I'm sorry. At one time I've always wanted to do it where I'm just like, I'm sorry, I was at craft services. What happened? I was doing something. I come out and I have one shoe on. Like I have an explanation for why it took me so long. Like
That's when I take my bathroom break and I come back and they're still getting their ass beat.
I was on my phone. What happened?
I mean, they're doing a lot of innovations in WWE right now. So like, why not go for that sort of
trying to figure out the
life logic? Yeah,
I was trying to figure out the Wordle. I'm sorry, it took me a while. It was Candle, if you were wondering.
Oh, spoiler alert!
Oh, not only were you beat down, now you're spoiled on the Wordle.
I wasn't gonna do it anyway. I do it once every like 2 weeks. Yeah. I think I have a really good streak going.
There's like a strategy that I saw like somewhere. It's like there's like certain words that have every letter of the alphabet. So like if you put them in as your first 2 guesses, like you can pretty much just get what it is.
Oh, Wordle. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what it is. It's like pinky. One of the words is pinky, and then I forget what the other 2 words are. But then it's like this combination of 3 things like gives you like every possible like combination of what it could
I start
be.
off with steak.
That's a good one.
I do heart.
Another.
Also, yeah. Cheat is another one too.
Nice.
Yeah. This is now a Wordle podcast.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay.
This is Wordle.
We're trying.
Wordle
trying to get that Times sponsorship right now.
Wordnado.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Eric. Do we have more to talk about?
Yeah. I mean, the Queen of the Ring tournament. I think we're just going to touch on that next week once the full brackets are revealed.
Yeah,
sounds good.
Let's just touch on stuff that we really like from Dynamite. Let's talk first about the first match because it's close to both of our hearts. Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta, grudge match here.
Truthfully, the only match I watched on the whole show was that match. I fell asleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
Yep.
It's a good.
Maybe we can just talk
The
about
matches
that.
are really good on this show.
Yeah.
I worked last night
Yeah, I got you.
while it was on, so once I got out of work, I tried to catch up on it, and I was just not having it. It wasn't happening.
Well, I started like getting ready for bed after the last match because they had advertised earlier. It's like your main event is Edge versus Copeland versus
Brody King.
Brody, who's another
Yeah.
person I would love to wrestle. Brody.
Of course.
And they were like, okay, this is the last thing that's happening, so I'm gonna get ready. And I come back out, and like Sasha Banks is getting interviewed, Mercedes Moné is getting interviewed, and I'm just like, what is happening? And then like, the Bucks come out.
They did maybe like a 10-minute overrun.
Yeah, there was like such a long overrun. I was just like, oh, this is still going.
I gotta say, like, I was annoyed to hell thinking that the last segment was going to be a Mercedes Moné segment.
I would
but like,
I mean, so funny. Like, oh, this is what we're ending with.
Yeah. Just because, like, I mean, I think they just hooked me in the fact that Mercedes is so detestable, and Willow is just such an amazing baby face that you just want to get behind. And just between those two women, like, if you're choosing Mercedes over Willow, like, there's something wrong with you as you're a morally corrupt human being.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, you don't like smiling, do you?
No,
I hate it.
Fun.
Yeah, but damn, I can't wait for that match. Again, Trent versus Orange Cassidy, I thought was just fucking wild.
What do you think? What do you think about this Don Callis shit, though? Where do you think this is going? I'm very confused.
I have no idea, and I like that.
Yeah,
I do too.
I like that. I like that everyone's like, "What is happening here?" Because I like that there's an element of story right now that's like, what's going to happen next? Like, I'm interested in what's going to happen next, since it isn't like immediately clear to me.
Yeah. I guess I'm with Max on that. In that, I just kind of want to sit back and just see how it all develops, you know. But at the same time, I'm like, I kind of would love to see Trent Beretta aligned with Don Callis,
and that's the way it makes sense.
Yeah,
I think I saw a fun thing that was like they want Roppongi 3K to join Don Callis, because then they're going to do like a thing where Rocky's like going through all the belts and keeps losing his opportunities. Where he's like, all right, I can at least go for this belt, and then like he loses. And like he's like, okay, it looks like I got to go back to tag team wrestling with Trent, and then like they just beat up on Orange. And then they get Roppongi guys. Roppongi 3K, another tag team that's broken up that I wish was still a thing.
Oh my god, me too, man. I hate the House of Torture.
I'm not a fan of them apart, and I love them together.
Me too, man. I thought that show was so awesome, and now he's just such a he's just grown into the whole House of Torture thing, and he doesn't do any of the same stuff that he used to do.
Yeah, New Japan's really weird because they have two heel factions now whose whole gimmick is that they cheat.
Yeah.
And the only thing that separates them is one is Gaijins and the other one is like Japanese talent.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, we have Bullet Club, and then we have this other group that also cheats all the time. It's like, yeah. You also had a really fun heel group that you recently broke up called Suzuki Goon.
Yeah.
That was just a bunch of hard people.
I know, really.
There's a lot of head scratching going on with New Japan that it's hard to.
It's a confusing time.
Stay ahead. Yeah, I mean, I kind of see why Okada decided to go the AEW route. You know,
what's going on with their TV championship? It's like getting hot shot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, between Riddle and then
Zack Sabre Jr. did amazing things with it.
Yeah. I honestly feel like I'm such a CSJ fan, and I mean, watching his journey through New Japan at this point, like, now is the time where you put the title on him. Like, give him the world championship. Like, put him against Moxley at Forbidden Door.
100%.
Yeah,
he made me laugh more than any like recent wrestling thing when it was him. It was after he won the belt from Riddle at oh my god, what's that show called? It's not Battle in the Valley, right? The one where Riddle won it back.
The Chicago one, the Windy City.
Oh, Windy City Rumble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff Cobb came out and he was just like, because he was like, I can fight anyone, and then Jeff Cobb was out. I was like, well, not right now, and like Jeff, I'm gonna have to ask you for my belt back because I left it in the middle of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like the funniest man.
Just so
He's such a little shit, and I love him.
Yeah. He's great, man, and like it's such a great promo that everyone talks immediately and rightfully so about just his technical acumen of how he's the best technical wrestler in the world, but he's just such a cheeky fuck, isn't he?
Yeah, he's one of the best characters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, well, we'll certainly be paying attention to New Japan a little bit more as the months go on. But again, Max, we're so happy that we had you on the show today. You were such a great guest. We're very happy that you stuck around, talked a little professional wrestling, TV wrestling with us too. Again, if you want to just remind everybody where to find you online and any upcoming matches you have coming up.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me online for more sexy tweets and like just me being a little asshole online towards people, you can follow me on Twitter at HandsomeMax0, and you can also follow me on Instagram for some sexy pics at HandsomeMax0. Things that are coming up, go support Lab over at Oh My Glob. It's going to be a great show. Go buy your tickets. Go watch it when it goes up on whatever you're streaming. I think it's IWTV, whatever streaming service it goes up on. And yeah, it's just going to be a blast. I'm also wrestling in Love Park on Saturday out in Philadelphia near Center City at Combat Zone Wrestling, and I'm wrestling for their world champion against their champion, Aaron. It's going to be a lot of fun. Aaron Ash. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Man. And hopefully the next time I see you, you'll have some new hardware. CZW World Championship. You would be joining a lot of really amazing company if you do pull that off, Max. So wish you absolutely the best. Pleasure having you on today. And as always, guys, follow us on Instagram at Smarknado, on Twitter at Smarknado1, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And Dan, you have anything left for us?
I have nothing left other than stay fresh, cheese bags.
And keep watching wrestling.
Drink water.